Introduced by Songtsen, Buddhism becomes a core element of the Tibetan Empire. This lecture burst considers why Buddhism was chosen as the state religion of Tibet, what events led to the establishment of Buddhism in the empire, and what led to its decline. Our timeline of the Tibetan Empire spans from Songtsen reign to the rule of Longdharma, roughly the early 7th century to the mid 9th century. However, for the sake of time, we're going to jump ahead almost 100 years after Songtsen death to the reign of Chisung Detsen. We make this leap because he is considered the second Dharma king, or Buddhist king, who succeeded Songtsen and preceded Rinpoche. Chisung Detsen believed Buddhism was in decline, so he devoted his energy and resources to reviving it. One of his first steps in this revival was funding the construction of Samye, Tibet's first monastery. But why would an emperor care so much about elevating religion to the status of a state creed? Remember that Buddhism at this time was a transnational religion that started in present-day Nepal. But by the time of Chisung Detsen, it had spread to India, Central Asia, and Tang China. In other words, to Tibet's closest rivals and allies. Therefore, Buddhism was transnational and not parochial. Furthermore, it was an economic religion. By economic religion, I mean that for Buddhism to flourish, it needs funding and wealthy patrons to build monasteries, construct temples, train monks, commission artwork, and print texts. Therefore, by making Buddhism inherently connected to the state, Tibet's emperors wouldn't be, quote unquote, losing revenue because of religion. Therefore, and probably because he was a true believer too, Chisung Detsen becomes a champion of Buddhism. As he attempted to spread Buddhism across the region, he wanted to standardize its teachings. This desire led to the Great Samye debate, where Chisung Detsen invites a Chinese Buddhist scholar of Chan, or Zen Buddhism, named Mo Huyen, to debate with an Indian Buddhist philosopher named Kailasasya. Spoiler alert, Kailasasya, or the Indian Buddhist philosopher, won. The debate came down to how one attains enlightenment or nirvana. Remember the lecture on Buddhism, more specifically the part about nirvana. Well, Mo Huyen believed that enlightenment was spontaneous and instantaneous, whereas Kailasasya insisted enlightenment can only be achieved after rigorous study and moral development. Chisung Detsen declared Kailasasya the winner, and therefore the teachings would be privileged in Tibet. Mo Huyen had to leave the empire. But if you recall from the Rug article about the Great Samye debate, more questions are raised rather than answers provided. First, there isn't enough evidence to know for sure the details of the debate or even if it took place. For example, what language was the debate conducted in, since you had a Chinese monk, an Indian monk, and a Tibetan emperor acting as judge? Furthermore, Rug points out that Mo Huyen and Kailasasya's philosophies shared more similarities than they did differences. In fact, Mo Huyen even said that most people needed to embark on a gradual path. So, you know what's coming. Why does this debate matter so much in Tibetan history and to Tibetans? The debate is symbolic. Regardless of what really happened, the collective memories of Tibetans then and now are suggesting that the debate marks their collective decision to look to India rather than China as a source for authentic Buddhism and culture. Remember, according to the story, Mo Huyen was kicked out of Tibet, which is symbolic of Tibetans rejecting Chinese culture. It may come as relief for some that we are nearing the end of our history unit. And the end is marked by the collapse of the Tibetan Empire, many believe by the hands of Longdharma. Long Dharma assumes the throne after he kills his brother Ralpatan, the last Dharma king. According to legend, but his story raises questions. Long Dharma suppresses Buddhism in order to elevate Pon, a religion native to Tibet. As a result, institutionalized Buddhism, or Buddhism as a state religion, declines rapidly. So here's a little fun fact about Long Dharma and Tibetan culture. Though I've actually never witnessed this during my travels in the region. But it's been documented that some Tibetans, upon greeting each other, will stick out his or her tongue to prove that they haven't been reborn as King Longdharma, who's believed to have a black spot on his tongue. So, if you're in the region and you do see a Tibetan sticking his tongue or her tongue out at you, don't be offended. It's to show that this is not a reincarnation of someone evil. Devastated by the turn of events and the treatment that Long Dharma had towards Buddhism, a monk named Lalung Pagi Dorje assassinates the king and becomes a hero. But the damage had already been done. The empire was no more, and Buddhism no longer enjoyed the support of a state economy. Hold on. Buddhism, the religion of peace, has a monk who murders a king and now he's a hero? I thought Buddhism was nonviolent. Well, more on that topic next week.